So let's talk about sleepwalking. Sleepwalking. Someone recently put a comment on the video I did about sleep paralysis, um, and there was a couple of things that happened with that comment, which I thought were interesting. And I'll talk about one of those things in a different video. But when we look at who we are consciously, when we look at who we are consciously, you know, inside of this physical body is a consciousness, right? Now I've often told the story about how, and in the video for sleep paralysis, I told it again, where I'm lying in bed and I hear my alarm clock and I reach over to turn the alarm clock off and I realize I forgot my arm because my consciousness isn't fused with my physical body, right? This is one level, right? Now, imagine if you were in a different conscious state, but you were still connected to your physical body, right? It's just a different conscious state, right? So now you start acting out what you're dreaming about. Now, what are dreams? Dreams are many things, and we should do a whole video on dreams in general, and maybe I will at some point. But when you have a sleepwalker who's getting up and living out something, it could be beliefs that they're working through in life. It could be past life memories that they're reliving. There's a lot of things it could be. There's a lot of things that it could be. And when you look at the idea of the physical body and the consciousness of you, and I want you to think about it that way. The consciousness of you rides this vehicle of the physical body, right? And your consciousness affects this body. And this body is, as a vehicle, does what your consciousness says to do, right? So if you're literally finding that you're sleepwalking or finding people who are sleepwalking, their consciousness is doing something and just bringing the body along, right? It's interesting because I remember when I was younger, I laid down to go to bed, and as I started to drift off, I started to dream. And as I started to dream, a lion showed up in my dream and roared. And what happened was I snored, and that was the lion's roar, and it woke me up. I woke up. The lion's roar was my snore. So my consciousness knew I was going to snore. My consciousness knew that it was going to happen, and so my consciousness dictated my dream, right? In sleepwalking, your consciousness, because it hasn't disconnected from the body fully, acts out the dream in the body. And one of the things that's really important is you have to realize when they are in a sleepwalking phase, they are in a dream state. And in a dream state, where they are is not the same reality of where they are in their dream state. And so, you do have to be very careful about making sure they can't put themselves into dangerous situations. One of the commenters said that they heard of someone who walked off of a balcony. Well, that would make sense to me because in their dream, they weren't in a building with a balcony, probably, right? So you need to make sure that if you are involved with somebody who's sleepwalking, that you have the means to lock them in place so they can't get out. That's one thing. That's just logic. On another level, you have to realize that their consciousness is bringing their body along, and as their consciousness is doing that, they're acting out certain experiences, and whatever those experiences are, be they past life, be they working through present moment issues, whatever those circumstances are, their consciousness is exploring something. Their consciousness is exploring and learning and living through something. And shouldn't be made wrong for it. They shouldn't be made to struggle for it. They shouldn't be made to feel that they have something wrong with them. Because, they used to think all kinds of people had things wrong with them. Then they discovered, oh, no, that's a normal function. I'm sure that if I did the research, I could find tons of those sorts of things. It's like they used to think the world was flat too. And some people still do. But now we know different. Now we know better, right? So it's very interesting that, interesting is not a good word for it. It's important. Let's put it that way. It's important that people not take the belief that they're flawed, not take the belief that there's something wrong with them, because that will just take them down a path that'll just get worse and worse and worse. When you label something as and declare yourself as that, God, consciousness, universe comes together and shows you what you believe. And you don't want people to think they're broken. You want people to think that they are experiencing life, that they're going through life, and this is just another experience. And sleepwalking, as the commenter said, can be dangerous. Take the precautions you need to for the physical body, right? But they're not flawed. They're just going through a consciousness experience. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.